Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition rules by White Wolf Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and contains adult themes. We welcome you to our freeholds and our dreamlands, but take caution, as there are things that go bump in the night. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or from places from far beyond dreams, is strictly coincidental. And now, on with the show. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. My name is Michael Diamond, and I am neither your storyteller, handler, keeper, or game master tonight because we are back playing Changeling the Dreaming, and that means I'm turning the whole ship over to storyteller James to let him do his thing. So, James, take it away.
I will take it away. And who are the people who are helping me carry this amazing story? Well, let's meet them, shall we? As with me, as always, to my right.
I'm Bunny. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Edie Dresner, the knocker. And I can't wait to be a bad influence on my new friend.
Someone needs to be. It's a vital, vital role. And next to Edie.
Hello, this is Mare, she, her, and I am playing Erin Sharp, our Cluricon, also she, her, and she is on a mission. She's going to accomplish this quest, and it's going to rock.
I have zero doubts. And across the table and 90 degrees from Mare.
Hi, this is Rena. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Kelly Wild, pronouns she, they. And I am a newly awakened puka, which means I'm just going to be a normal person with cat ears and a tail, right? Right, guys?
Absolutely no surprises at all. I'm sure that'll be it. And lastly, hovering just outside of our dimension and a pocket dimension of his own.
Hi, this is Mike. My pronouns are he, him. Also, I'll be playing Rowan Stewart, pronouns he, him, and he is a she from House Fiona who has been, well, let's just say tasked with a series of things to accomplish and looks forward to seeing the most adorable kitty cat show up in leather and gears. That's what he's expecting. But you know what? Expect the unexpected, just like, royalty showing up.
And that is a beautiful way of reminding all of our listeners that indeed all of our changeling folk are currently in a state of hub and bub because there seems to be visiting royalty soon. In fact, later this very evening. But the evening has not arrived yet. It's still roughly noonish. The sun is high, the breeze is warm, and Erin is currently driving across town, I would assume. Does Erin have a car?
No.
Did Erin just commandeer Rowan's car?
There's this awkward combination of public transit and bike riding that is taking place.
Okay.
Yeah, but she is booking it. So her trusty steed, Schwinn, is getting her clean across town. As she makes her way across town, whenever she does pop onto a bus, she will start sending a text message to a group for Edie and Kelly.
Lovely. Edie and Kelly, you are both ankle deep in your own respective interests for the day. As you are, Edie, you find that you have accidentally glued your left foot to the floor, but it's hot glue, so it actually came fairly easily. But the creation that you're making right now is gorgeous, so you're not really so much worried about the glue or lore or the little bits of wood that are stuck to your shoe. When your phone makes that telltale wee-ee, Kelly, you also receive the same message. Yours.
I don't remember setting it to do that. Stare at the phone suspiciously. Pick it up. Maybe it's probably just Edie again. Or maybe it's Gentry with another photo shoot. Who knows?
Well, you're partially right, as it is Edie, but you do also see that Erin is sending interestingly spelled messages. They apparently are traveling currently, and hence the occasional extra H or U where it does not quite belong. What do you send?
Erin sends a text that says, "All right, folks, exclamation point, exclamation point. We've got a big party tonight. Very important. Must make sure look good. Smiley face, bow tie, fireworks emoji." And ends up a couple of moments later, "Edie, you've got to make clothes." Then later on, a couple moments later, after typing, it looks like typing for a long time, for Kelly. And then more typing. "I'm on my way to Edie's place. Go there."
So the respective text salad has been sent and received by the appropriate people.
So I just kind of sigh, but hey, it's a chance to get dressed up. Party. Interesting. We love parties. So, all right, I pull out a pair of pinstripe slacks, a blazer, pair it not with a shirt, but with this kind of lacy bra, and then a bow tie, because it mentioned bow tie. Slightly avant-garde, just a little bit with the bow tie with no collar. Looking very fabulous, if I do say so myself. And I will head off to Edie's.
Okay. You don't live horribly far from Edie's, so takes you, I would say, maybe 20-minute walk. It's a brisk day, and as you arrive, in fact, you are met serendipitously by Erin, who pulls up on an old Schwinn and is briefly out of breath, but seems to be well exercised, so, doesn't last too long.
"Hey, you made it. Awesome. Okay. Wow, we've got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. You look great. We still need to see Edie. We should get upstairs. Do you see a bike rack somewhere?" And it's all just like a bunch of energized words, almost as if like each word is a punch of its own, as she's trying to find a place to park the bike. "I can carry it up the stairs if I have to. It'll be fine. How are you?"
Fine. Totally great. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing weird. Totally great.
That sounds like sarcasm. Was that sarcasm?
No.
End of their tail flicks.
Okay. Well, I'll trust you for now because you've got to make sure you're okay tonight. Come on.
Edie, you can hear the footsteps on your stairs long before they reach your door. And these stairs here are not new, so there's a lot of plomping.
I will set out the fish-themed snacks that I got from the grocery store earlier. There's going to be smoked salmon. There's going to be some smoked tuna. There's going to be just like a little, whatever the word for charcuterie board is, that is only fish.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie board, indeed. And we are just going to roll with that. And nothing else to pair it with, just assuming that we're just going to go straight for shoveling into faces. Who needs etiquette here? I have been working on trying to make a not cat-themed, not cat suit for Kelly. Just because inspiration struck. But Erin's phone, even though I know that she just got here, is just going to be a lot of like, fuck yeah, making clothes with like guitars and lightning bolts and musical notes.
The word montage in all caps used at least twice.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a montage. It with like so many exclamation points.
There is a knock upon your door.
Erin knocks on the door with her 10 speed over her shoulder because there was not enough time to find a place to tie up the steed.
It's unlocked. Come the fuck in already.
She jostles the handle and all but kicks the door in. Hey, party!
You have a bicycle. Why didn't you just take the elevator for starters? Okay, yeah, you park that nowhere near fabric.
Okay, yeah. And she just leans it up against the wall right by the door. I wasn't looking for that.
The one that you took to get in last time.
Oh, I wasn't looking for that. Besides,
It's fair.
it's healthier to walk. You gotta keep the juices flowing, right? You can't just bike across town then stop. I gotta kind of keep it moving. Hey, how are you? Did you get the messages?
I did get the messages. I think you might have missed the messages yourself.
Did I?
Also, frankly, it makes sense that this time you took the stairs since you don't have Rowan with you. And I know that he was the one who wanted to make his whole royal entrance nonsense with it before. So it makes sense.
Bit double doors. Guys can double doors.
They literally
man.
open for him. I'm sure that it's his favorite thing. So,
You know him pretty well.
I mean, I know the type. I know that I make clothes for people like him all the time.
Yeah. He seems a bit of a clothes horse.
Kelly's just sort of doing this slow looking back and forth between them as they're having this very energetic conversation.
Oh, right. And so I've got to get you caught up. All right. So I got a letter this morning, and turns out there's some pretty important people coming to town, and we're meeting at the freehold tonight and introducing Kelly to them.
Or what?
How important?
Her ladyship from House Fiona.
Oh, Edie zips across the room, grabs a step stool and some calipers and like slings a measuring tape over her shoulder and then just walks over to right where Kelly is standing, climbs up onto her step stool and just starts measuring Kelly to make sure that she remembers all the measurements correctly. Oh, your ladyship. Okay, the ladyship is going to see what I dress you in tonight, and while what you're wearing is cute. At the same time, it's not enough. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just not enough. I understand.
I'm wearing a suit of armor.
Wait, suits of armor? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. It's got like I am a squire of House Fiona. I'm actually Rowan's squire. He's got a lot more important titles and things. I am just very fortunate to be in the position and be able to help him. And he's the one who told me that we've got to get it, that it's super important that we introduce you to her ladyship, and that's going to make everything okay. And while she's talking, she snaps a picture of what Kelly is wearing and texts it to Rowan and said, Edie's working on it.
All right, Rowan, you get a text.
Okay. I text back. I'm certain that everything will be fine. We're just doing some cleanup work here at the freehold.
Sounds good. ... That stain by the fireplace won't come up. I've tried. Don't worry about it. Just throw the rug over it. Period. Send.
Thanks for the tip.
And then sends a gif of like someone doing finger guns back at him.
So, whilst Kelly is currently being, dressed, what are you ladies in filling her in on?
Okay, well, for starters, I really think that Kelly here, you should listen to Erin on whatever she says, because I'm not fucking good with. I mean, you've texted with me already. Like we've interacted. I can do the schmoozing and the fancy and the Vogue. Like we can do the things, but her ladyship is not a runway. It's not talking to other fashion designers. It's not like total normal sleeper fashion week. That's a whole different situation, and I don't fucking. It's like, etiquette is not my strong suit. You should really. I'm gonna make you so beautiful, but I'm not gonna make you talk pretty. So talk to the talk pretty talker.
Wait,
Right. Yes.
ladyship, we have royalty? What?
Oh, yeah. Royalty, houses, like there's different areas, kingdoms, the whole deal. There's a lot. But right now, we just have to focus on making my lady of House Fiona really happy. That's the goal. So the way we do that,
What is this? 1066?
trust me,
Battle Hastings. Good choice. Good choice.
Do I have to like bow?
Okay, so here's the thing you gotta know, Kelly. Bow, curtsy, whatever the vibe, whatever you end up doing, don't go, your ladyship, I've heard about you, fuck yeah, and then finger guns and boop her on the nose like I did when I met her. Don't do that. Don't do that. The boop, I think, was too far, actually.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. In fact, the way we're talking right now, definitely don't do any of that. So think about, like, if you're nice and you do like all the noble curtsying, bowing, whatever your flavor is there, just show some respect, some significant respect. And think like you've watched some of those TV shows, right? Like where there's like, the curtsying, bowing, and like they have to be very polite and they have, like they can't touch hands while unless they've got gloves on kind of stuff.
I've seen The Crown and Downton Abbey. I've got a general idea.
Perfect. Now imagine that, but once you're in, they like a pretty good party. Like it's good. They're a happy type of house. We're gonna, we're up with the times. We're having a good time, but you gotta how like reality television is entertaining until all of a sudden it's not and everyone feels awkward. That times 10 with House Fiona. So entertain, pleasant, etiquette, bowing, just kind of follow what Rowan does. If you just kind of mimic whatever Rowan does, it should be fine. I mean, he and his type, they're very, and she makes some sort of like big courtly bow, like with the leg extended and everything. If you follow that, that's a pretty good vibe to go with.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Listen, I'm going to be on my best behavior. There's some folks I can't talk to or it will go down because I told them the last time I would talk to them that it would go down and it's,
Kelly's giving off kind of this air of like, sure, whatever, but you can see their tail is twitching nervously back and forth as they're trying to digest all of this information. They haven't quite gotten the control over their tail expressions yet.
Yeah. What if should the tail be on display? Looking to Edie, should the tail be on display or should we like tuck it in somewhere?
That I fucking got. That I got you. You're talking to the right fucking lady now. Hey, baby. Okay, so listen here. Listen. I got you. So this coat, this jacket, I got this jacket. I love this jacket. It's cooling. Don't worry, you're not going to overheat in it. No, do not take it off. It'll ruin the look. So we're going to put you in this jacket and it's got tails. It's got tails. So it has that nice split in the middle that's high enough for your tail to come out between the tails. So the tail of, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be so good. As long as we situate this and Edie's going to climb up her little step ladder again to put the jacket on you and make sure it fits right and everything's in place. And then look and goes, okay, hold on. I'm going to do this. 1 sec. And she's going to run to her cuss closet. Go. You can fucking do it. It's not going to fuck up. You got this. Okay. It's okay. And then run back out and take a seam ripper and cut a little bit higher so that it's in line with where Kelly's tail actually is because it wasn't high enough split. And just accidentally like nick a little bit to the side and go, She's just gonna little slight imperfection right at the end and just white knuckle the seam rippers for a second behind Kelly. She's just gonna be so close. It's so close to perfect. And it's fine. Nobody will notice. Your tail can cover the mistake. It's okay.
It looks great. Look at you. It's so good. You know what? I have an idea. You keep working. And Erin is going to dig through her messenger bag and pull out a pair of headphones. And I have a thing I would like to try. So my headphones are one of my treasures. And they have the Omen art so that I can use Omen on a fae to try and take a peer at it. The realm, I want to use the realm of Fae so that I can see how Kelly is going to do at this event coming up.
Interesting. Okay.
This is a rudimentary cantrip, provides a glimpse at the thread of a person, place, or thing's destiny. The omen revealed is always vague and rarely concerned with immediate events. At this level, the seer can at best glimpse the broad nature of a thing's destiny. The realm selected determines what the omen is about, usually Fae or actor, although it's certainly possible to conjure an omen about a place or an object. The more successes rolled, the deeper the omen may reach at the hint of the truth about the object, or about the realm there. Although no matter how many successes are rolled, omens are always subject to some interpretation.
All right. Then, by all means, go ahead and give me a roll.
Remind me of successes in this game. Is this 8, 9, and 10?
With Changeling, it's 7, 8, 9, and 10.
7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, cool. So then that gives me 2 successes.
Lovely. 2 successes. 1 or more clues about the outward demeanor or court allegiance of the target, or whether the object is lucky or ill-omened, according to the actual description of the power. As you slip on the headphones and begin dancing about the apartment, eyes closed, you both notice that Erin kind of goes into this almost a dancing trance, seems to really just lose herself in whatever music they're listening to. It's a dance trance. Erin, in your head, you don't feel like you're dancing. Like, you can feel that your body's dancing, but you feel more like you were standing. You feel the weight of your armor. It's reassuring, but it's also quite warm. And you feel your hand on the handle of your sword. You feel worry. You're not sure. You're worried for Kelly, and you're worried for the situation that she's in. You're not dangerously concerned, you would say. You're not fretting. It's more of a concern for someone that you care about. But with 2 successes, you also get that there's a separate concern weighing on you. But it's hard for you to say. It's more vague. But with Kelly, you get that feeling of concern and then maybe a sense of elation. The song ends and Erin's eyes open and she stops doing the dance magic dance.
Erin takes her headphones off and lets them rest around her shoulders. Okay, so...
Steam comes out of the headphones.
So, I can't use these for a hot second. My ears are burning. It seems like tonight we're going to be a little nervous, but it seems to end well. From what I'm getting. Granted, these things are a little, it's headphones through music. And I'll be honest, when I got them, I realized that they had this on them. They weren't mine originally. We'll get into that at another time. But they seem to work pretty well. And so listen, Kelly, I've got your back. I'm probably going to be nervous. You're going to be nervous. We're all going to be nervous, but I think things are going to be okay.
The other thing you notice, Erin, is when you open your eyes is that Edie is just putting the finishing touches on the outfit. Just the last few things, and the transformation is complete. The effect is quite stunning. Kelly pulls it off very, very well. It agrees with her slightly feline lines without making them seem silly or patronizing in any way. And it gives beauty, just a hint of sexiness, but not so much that it's gross.
Wow, look at you. You look great. And she immediately pulls out her phone to take a picture. And then we'll show it to Kelly to show her how she looks.
Unfortunately, due to the design of it, she could not manage to put pockets in the left side of the pants.
No pockets.
-1 pocket. You have your right pocket. You have these discreet back pockets that are hidden by the jacket. Again, don't take out the jacket. It ruins the lines. And then you have like a discreet breast pocket in the jacket. You just don't have a left pants pocket. Just the left one. Just
Okay, I do look pretty good. Preening a little bit.
Of course you look good. I dressed you.
Erin sends the photo to Rowan. Better? ... Question mark?
Rowan, you are at the cat's cradle.
Mm-hmm.
You have finally pushed all of the chairs and the furniture to the edges, and according to Pepper's direction, that she helped, but, you being physically more sound probably than Pepper is, did most of the moving of things. Has made it a fairly large open space. You're easily reminded now that this was once a church.
Right.
And that the open area is, in fact, very open, and the acoustics are incredible. This will be a good spot for the Dutchess. Your phone on the counter.
You go over to it, take a look.
You see a photo of Kelly in a stunning new outfit. It's worthy of meeting royalty, if not a bit avant-garde.
Well, Kelly's puka, so they're going to have their own style.
100%.
I type back, yeah, that looks great.
Smiley face, thumbs up, party hat.
It has been a couple hours. It's getting on towards afternoon now. You'd say 2 or 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper keeps looking at the clock, and she's scurry-funging. She's now polished the brass 3 times. She's wiped the counter. You can see not just her reflection, but the reflection of shit that hasn't even happened yet, because that is a one shiny counter.
Yeah. I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to start humming a tune. And I'm going to start like a little bit of light, like not singing form, but just like I start humming a tune, and eventually I will work that hum into a song. And the entire purpose of it is to take her brain and her focus from the worry cleaning into something that might be a little bit more of ease to her. And I'm trying to calm her down without directly like saying, hey, calm down. Pepper's not going to react well to that. And that generally just doesn't work when you tell people to calm down. The gift of song.
The gift of song. Lovely. Do you want to make me a performance roll?
I would like to make you a charisma performance roll. I am captivating.
You are captivating. We're going to say that as he is rolling this, that you ladies have decided that since Kelly is now dressed, there is no reason to continue to hang around Edie's apartment. Does this sound like a amiable thing?
I mean, I change into some of my best from my newest line, but then yeah, we go. I mean, I've got to look good too.
You're going to spiff yourself up as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had assumed. And what was that roll?
I have 5 successes.
Wow. Humming at first, then you occasionally will whistle, and then you finally break into the song. It's a song you learned when you were a wee lad. Grandma used to sing it to you. She said it was a song from the old country. You learned the words, and eventually, when you were a little older, you learned the meaning. And you'd say probably by the second verse, you're singing now as you're moving things and cleaning on the tops of stuff that Pepper obviously cannot reach because some of this has not been cleaned in a little while, and she doesn't like move a ladder around. As you're singing, you hear that Pepper has joined you. She's singing harmony to you. Doesn't have a lot of frills, but it's strong and it's sincere. And when she sings with you, it is actually a very nice, earthy accompaniment to your singing. Ladies, you have arrived in front of the cat's cradle. You're looking good. Step out of the...
I have a car. I'll drive them. Yeah, I'm not lugging everything for a fashion show on foot or a bike.
No, around by hand on a bus? No. That's a month.
On a bus, what if somebody touches something?
And moreover, you can keep a car running because, a car is not that complicated of a machine. And sometimes it's literally just about threatening it into working.
I don't mess with the new ones that have like all the tech everywhere. No, but like a classic, just machinery, maybe a stereo that I threaten into being less fuzzy. That works for me. That's fine.
All right.
I can even do some of my own repairs.
So you guys leave Edie's apartment, and there is an 89 Nissan Gray and the passenger side door is an olive green. But when she turns the engine over, it purrs like a kitten. It doesn't sound like an 89 Nissan. It just sounds like a good, reliable car. Rowan, as you are singing, you notice that it's not just you and Pepper in here anymore. There are now a couple of other people, changelings, that have filed in, and they're being respectfully quiet. One of them is a satyr gentleman who is just tapping a beat on a table, but it's loud enough with his hoof tapping the leg of the table that he is making a decent backbeat for you, and he's got good rhythm, so he just grins at you and nods.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we're going to keep going because we got people,
You reach the cat's cradle in very little time. In fact, just enough time that as you are clambering out and kind of straightening each other's clothes and everything so that you look nice, you hear some rather beautiful music coming from the old church building that the cat's cradle is in. Some of it is a higher male voice and almost a deeper, more baritone female voice, and there's a definite beat to it. And then as you're listening and walking up, you hear another deep, deep bass that adds to it. As Rowan, you see that there's a troll. In fact, it's the one that you met the other day, and he has added a bass that some of the notes he hits, you don't hear so much as you feel.
Yeah.
In your chest bones and in the crockery. And as you ladies enter the church, they are just finishing a song that, with the accompaniment that's here, is striking to all of you. You can easily feel the glamour in this room has built from being just a cafe during the day to there's almost a mystical feel to it. The air is not sparkly physically, but if you squint just right, you can see sparkles. As you enter the cat's cradle, other folk are coming in behind you. You see a couple. One looks like a knocker. One is a knocker, and one, Kelly, you see that she is willowy. One of the women that walks in looks a lot like Edie, in that she has pink cheeks and a very pink tip of the nose. The ears are long and kind of pointed. But the girl that she walks in arm in arm with, the other one she's wearing all black. She has a black parasol. You can barely see her face. And it doesn't look like she's wearing black because she's fashioned for it. It's almost as if like maybe she put on normal clothes and they just ended up black by the time she left the house. There are buckles on her boots, but not hot topic and ostentatious. And she's extremely rail thin. And she's, I won't say clinging to the knocker woman, but it's pretty close. Behind them, a guy walks in with a bright red head of hair and a grin that ends at his ears. He just kind of snorts at the air with a disdainful look. A few others come in. Very tall blue man. All in all, 10, 15 people enter this room. The doors close, and the people begin milling about and talking. Ladies, you see Rowan was in fact standing on a table by the end of the song, and the last notes still ring out of the church.
Yeah, I stepped down from the table and...
to a smattering of applause, by the way.
Probably turn my sleeves back down all the way and, properly situate the cuffs and go over to Pepper and give her a nod of approval and thanks for pitching in.
She smiles and goes off to walk and talk amongst the people.
Oh, great, you're here. I step over to Erin and Kelly and Edie.
They all look fabulous.
Yeah, hey, I did what you said.
Good job. I sort of gesture to Erin, should probably go get dressed. House tunic, the whole thing.
On it.
Be prepared.
And then, has he already gotten dressed at this point?
Who? No, Rowan's not dressed yet.
I know, because that's my job. because that's like the big job. It's like, we got to get you kitted out. I'll go and get myself ready. And then when you're ready, I'll make sure everything's really shined up. It's going to be looking its best.
Agreed. So maybe we should talk, Kelly.
There's been a lot of that today.
Well, if there's one thing Erin's good at, it's holding a conversation.
A one-sided conversation sometimes. Slight smile.
Lots of energy. Energy is important.
If you say so.
I do. The outfit, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, Edie did a great job with it. Missing a pocket, but otherwise it's pretty great.
That's just the flair for the specific style, of course, right?
Oh, absolutely. Shows off the tail and everything quite nicely. A bit, I think.
How you handling the whole tail thing?
Still not quite able to control things, if I'm being completely honest. Still not used to it being there. That'll take a while. I guess.
Yeah, I think everybody comes into their own a little bit. It's something that will take a little time, sure, but the best way to acclimate that is to be around other fae.
Yes, I noticed there's some more people here tonight. I'm very careful choosing the words.
Yeah, there's definitely more of us around than it seems. And that's kind of the way things have always worked, right? We exist around those who are not for, well, hundreds of years. And we've done so because there's ways that we go about doing things. We have our own traditions and our own things to use to remember. We have guidelines and important things that you need to know. And that'll take a little time for you to understand why they're important.
Yes, Erin's been filling my head with courts and ladyships and all sorts of things that I was not aware of existing in this country. So that's going to take some getting.
Yeah, there's two courts really, but that's a story for another time. This court, the Sealy court, the parts of it you'll interact with now pretty much follow a medieval or a feudal state, roughly akin to 14th century Europe. Those of higher rank are respected by those of lower rank and are also expected to meet their obligations to the less fortunate. And that's really primarily, I sort of like turn away from some of the other crowd that's there and try to walk Kelly away from them. That's really the rub, the thing that rubs people the wrong way. There are members of the court that very much feel like those who are not members of court are peasants. And that can be very difficult to deal with. Now, not all members of the noble houses are like that, but some are. House Fiona, for example, by and large, regards themselves as the people's champions. In our history, we've done whatever we can to stick up for the commoners. And that's probably the nice version that you'll hear is commoners rather than peasants. But there have been some changes, even within the courts and how they deal with things, that allow fae other than she to hold titles.
Honestly, I'm not very big on whole hierarchy things. Never really been my vibe.
Yeah, so you'll fit right in. That's like 90% of fae.
Oh, that's good to know.
It is good to know. It's also good to understand that the nobles hold many, if not all, of the freeholds. And so they hold where a lot of the gathering places they hold control over. Sometimes they opt to give freeholds to charge someone with their protection. That's sort of what happened with Pepper. And so while Pepper might not always necessarily like hearing about what nobles are up to or where they're going or what they're doing, she still respects what happens. And that's really the difference. You don't want to run into a situation where you run afoul of people of title.
Well, I'm not used to bowing and scraping and all of those sorts of things, but I can practice.
Don't think of it as scraping. It's the wrong way. And I respect my dukes, duchess, etc. because they help protect fae society in their own way. And that's important because without that assistance, society can break down pretty quickly.
You hear, as he's finishing his sentence, you can all hear a distant, it sounds like horns, like trumpets, but not loud. It's like, yeah, they're playing soft and distantly. And then they're played again loud, much more loudly, like right outside the cat's cradle.
Okay, we're running out of time. Really running out of time. There is something that we have to get to, that information, things that you need to understand that her ladyship may ask about. I'll do whatever I can to make sure that she understands that you're relatively new, and hopefully that will help things pass a little easier.
Relatively new, right? I think a day is about what we're looking at, so I would call that new for sure.
Yeah, and no one's going to expect you to know the issue in a day.
The ears and the tail are twitching a bit more, despite how nonchalant Kelly's trying to present herself. Definitely getting nervous and agitated.
Erin and Edie, if either of you would like to make me a perception alertness, please. Because you have both been around Kelly long enough now. I mean, hours, and one of you dressed her like a doll. So you've probably talked to her enough now just to begin to know her social cues.
That's no successes for me.
That's okay. You have your mind on other things. Especially hearing those horns. You actually felt your pulse quicken a little bit. Oh, shit. Game time.
1.
One success for Edie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You only catch it right at the end, and it's only because it's the tail, but you see that the very tip of their tail is flicking back and forth, just the tip, and it's doing so very erratically. And you actually owned a cat previously that did exactly that thing when they were either agitated, annoyed, or freaked out. And while facially Kelly is holding the model face, the tail is giving away currently that they are not feeling as secure as they could. But before you can say anything, or even extend a wink and a nod, there are 3 large boom, boom, boom on the wooden doors of the church. Pepper looks to you, Rowan, and she nods.
Okay. I will look for Erin to see if she's gotten back yet.
Erin clips in very quickly with all of the gear and everything ready to go.
Good. I'll swing the more formal cloak piece on, and then sort of wrap the sword belt around myself and give it a good tug to make sure it's in space, and then head towards the door.
Excellent. You now, with at least two symbols of your office secured about your person, stride to the door with all of the confidence that you feel and open the door wide. And in front of you, first, is the messenger that was sent yesterday, the gentleman with feathers in his hair. He bows before you. May I present Dutchess Analea Ithranel, Lady of the Kingdom of Lakes. He bows and steps to the side. In fact, the way he bows and puts his foot forward, you have seen at least 2 ravens do that over the last couple of days. Almost exactly the same fluid motion. With a little tilt of his head. A woman enters the room, flanked on either side by young one is a man, one is a woman. Both are wearing armor that is very highly polished, thin swords at their sides. Between them is you would say, hard to judge her age, but middle-aged, perhaps? Just starting to see some gray in the hair. There are a few crow's feet around the corners of her eyes, but it does not in any way diminish the radiance with which she fills the room when she walks in. Kelly, if you could bottle the way this woman walked into a room, you would already have your own show somewhere in like Mulan, darling. She enters the room, not quickly. She doesn't seem to be slowly. She seems to be going at exactly the proper pace. She enters, and as she walks, people either are bowing or curtsying to her. She stops briefly in front of you, Rowan.
Certainly, I give her a respectful bow.
Sir Rowan, it's wonderful to see you again.
She puts her left hand out, and you see it has a dainty but incredibly elegantly wrought ring of office.
I give all proper deference to her, take her hand very, very lightly in mine, and kiss her ring of office.
It has the texture of the petals of a flower. Her hand does. And the only part that seems truly solid is the ring. And she smiles. And you're used to she beauty, but when she smiles at you, you do feel that moment of, wow. It's more than just beauty, but it's a true maternal feel. She smiles and walks further into the room, nodding her head and smiling to the people that have gathered here. Turns and at the end, and Pepper is there. You see her. She does something that you've never seen a Dutchess do before, Rowan, in that she bows slightly to Pepper. And Pepper bows even deeper, of course, but they exchange very quiet words. And the Dutchess laughs lightly, and Pepper kind of breathes out a sigh and then goes off behind the counter and begins helping others. As the Dutchess turns around and looks at the room.
I would like to thank you all for gathering here with me this evening. It's wonderful to see all of you again, each one of you. I have heard tales, perhaps, that there is a reason for gathering, more than just how much I've missed each of you.
She smiles, and there's a smattering of polite laughter around the room.
But I'm thinking that perhaps meeting someone out in the open with so many new people can be unpleasant, and I don't want this to be an unpleasant. So, Rowan, if you would attend to me and your squire.
Certainly. I step forward.
And the Dutchess levels her gaze to you, Kelly, and you feel the weight of command, if it was almost a physical force, as she smiles at you, brings her hand out to you. You see Edie, you're now standing relatively close to Kelly.
My dear.
Kelly bows very deeply because that's what they were told to do. And it takes them a split second to do it because they're frozen deer in the headlights style with the weight of everything on them. And then they bow.
She smiles and graciously and waits for you to arise. She turns to you lightly, Rowan.
You are hosting her? Teaching her the ways?
We have begun this afternoon.
You say we.
Oh, of course. My squire, Erin, was also assisting in methods of training.
And this, she gestures to the outfit, and this radiant piece here?
Oh, done by Edie, of course.
She makes the come hither finger to you, Edie.
Edie will not only hop forward and deeply curtsy, but in that curtsy will pull a small present box out of her sleeve and go, "Ah, yes, your most bodacious and beautiful buxom ladyship. I have made you a gift. I've been waiting for the next time you came through. Here you go."
She takes it gracefully, as if everything you had just said was exactly as it should have been said.
Audacious. I don't think I've ever been called such a thing, my dear.
I could call you lots of new things if you like.
My gracious.
She turns and looks at Rowan.
Is it something in the water, perhaps?
Perhaps the coffee.
Perhaps. But my dear, you have true talent, and I would love to see a gown perhaps produced for a gala that I will be attending in a few months. Is this something that you can do for me?
Is that something I would be honored? Yes. Yes, please. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, since you are part of this hosting group, then I wish you to come as well. My dear, please.
And the four of you, she walks back further into the church, leading you into a room, one of the smaller rooms. In the room is a small censer. It almost looks like a small ornate version of a backyard fire pit. And in it there's no wood or paper or anything. There's just fire. And it's burning up out and making little white sparks. When you guys enter this room, you feel like you just had a little shot of espresso to your soul. It feels good in here. She nestles down next to the fire and literally like warms her hands, works her joints out.
So,
She pats the chair next to her and looks to Kelly.
come sit, my dear.
You would say about 60% of the royalness, the eleganza, the Dutchessness has not dissipated, but it's like in the background. As she pats the chair next to you, it's almost grandmotherly.
Come sit. I'm sorry about all of the fanfare, my dear. Well, I remember what it was like when I was a pro.
Kelly sits down, but kind of perches on the edge of the seat. Doesn't quite sit all the way.
How long has it been?
About 24 hours, your ladyship?
Oh, you're still in the part where it's hard to remember things. I understand. Welcome. Rowan and Erin will take very good care of you. They're from House Fiona. We are known for our hospitality. And anyone who can design something like this for you is someone you should trust.
Smiles at Edie.
And with her courtly manner, she's definitely someone that you should learn from.
Again, nods to Edie. And there's a very wry smile on like half of her mouth.
But, my dear, I profess that I must talk of slightly darker things. Will this disturb you?
I don't know, honestly, what's disturbing and what's not disturbing. Everything feels slightly disturbing right now. If I'm completely honest, I don't think you can make it much worse.
Okay. I'm concerned for your welfare, and I want to make sure that you are well. As you are one of my, as they say in the South, constituents.
She chuckles slightly. And she turns to Rowan and Erin, and the humor vanishes. She seems now just very cold serious.
Tomorrow is a very important day, and it's not been advertised. But, Rowan, I'm going to ask something of you and Erin that I don't want to ask of you, but I must, because I trust you. Of all of the knights in the area, I trust you the most.
All right.
She sits in her chair and adjusts for a moment.
This is the Twin Cities. It's the cusp of the power of my kingdom. But its name is accurate. Do you know what the seat here in this town is called? The seat of power? Its original name was? It was called the Gemini seat. But here's why. They can contest my ownership here.
But when she says they, you have a feeling that it's a capital T.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sure I know who she means.
And if they present a champion, I need someone to stand for it. For me and for our court.
You think that they would challenge your right?
I think they're going to. There are rumblings. I have ears. I have sympathetic ears in other places, we'll say. And they have told me that the thunder that's rumbling in the distance proceed a storm that will be here soon.
Very well. Ask.
Arise, you four.
I stand up.
Erin follows suit.
Okay. Erin, you find yourself standing to the back and right of Kelly. This seems very oddly familiar. In fact, you're having a hard time getting this song out of your head that you're hearing vaguely as you pull lightly on the neck of your armor as it's gotten a little warm.
Let's begin with beginnings. Kelly Wilde, it is with open arms and a true heart that I do accept you into this freehold and into the world of the changelings. Your path be your own. Hope leads you to House Fiona. But if it does not, that does not mean you will meet any less goodness or hospitality at our home or at our door. Do you accept this?
Yes, your ladyship.
Wonderful.
She smiles.
That is good to balance the ale.
You are, for a moment, Erin, feel a sense of worry that also borders on a sense of deja vu. And then she turns to Erin and Rowan.
Mr. Rowan of House Fiona, Squire Erin of House Fiona, and Edie.
She trails off, looking at Edie.
Oh, sorry. Your most alluring ladyship. I am Edie Dresner, also of House Fiona.
Edie, Dresner, of Lady House Fiona, I do charge the three of you with extending the love, care, and hospitality of House Fiona to Kelly and instructing her in all ways of the changeling world to provide her with the best life that she can, and to show her the value of being part of House Fiona, of course. And Rowan and Erin, I specifically charge you with engaging and defeating a champion of the Unseelie Court, should one arise.
She says the last part in a way that rhymes with when they get here.
Right. We should do so, without question.
It would be my honor and that of my liege.
Wonderful. This gladdens my heart. Then I think perhaps we should go out and rejoin the group, and we'll have some of the mead that I know that Pepper has because I had it sent over. We should all raise a glass and enjoy the balefire's warmth for this one evening before the dark days ahead.
And you do. She leads you back out into the main room, which has already begun to smell like cinnamon and apples and mead, and people are laughing and talking. And the volume dips a little when she enters the room again, but when they see that she's laughing and talking, the party goes back to full swing again. Bit by bit, she graces the room, every person in the room. There's not a single person she misses, tall or small, that she doesn't stop and speak to, and speaks to them as an equal, if not someone who cares for them. The Duchess Ithranel spreads her glamour around the room, and you feel each of you touched by it. And with that happy note, but with a dark seed in there somewhere, I'm going to leave you for this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank my players for joining me tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on episode 5 of Whispers of the Lost. Thank you, and good night.